Okay, we are all ready. Most of us are here. The only person missing right now is Angie, but she's going to catch up from wherever she comes in. All right, good afternoon, guys, everybody. Welcome to Brush Up. Today we are moving on to, well, this is, somebody says a little bit complicated, but end of the day, I think it is something that we all can do with a little bit of guidance. I think we're going to make this difficult looking scene a little bit simpler based on the processes that we've been through so many times. From back to front, we simplify the process so that even adults can paint. Yeah, you hear that? Even adults can paint. Kids, no problem at all. Okay, so we can get started. Everybody got all your paints ready? Your 4 colors all here. I'm going to switch to my paint. All right, here we go. Empty canvas. 4 colors ready, and we're gonna get started now. Okay. Usual, we're gonna get the horizon. Horizon today is maybe slightly below, just below the middle line. This is gonna be your horizon. That's where the sea meets the sky meets the sea. The hills meet the water. That's number 1. Number 2, just rough out. I think we're just gonna rough out. The hills are gonna be somewhere here. I know some of you want to do triangular hills, but that is okay. We can do a little bit rounded. It's up to you what kind of shape you want to make your hills. You can make it look like Mount Everest. You can make it look like Mont Blanc. Okay. For Sean there, I think where's Sean? Sean has disappeared. Okay, no, she's become admin today. Even if you do not have the reference photo, you can still paint, yeah, based on the guidance I'm giving you here. You follow this this simple guidance, you still can paint the whole scene without looking at the reference at all. So horizon, hills, and this whole area here, this is a part that everybody says looks very complicated. It's actually your buildings and your wall. We're going to do this the very last. So this one will go a little bit below the horizon. Okay. It's still basically all straight lines as far as I can tell, not much perspective. All right. So we can start moving almost immediately. Okay, there goes my small brush. I'm going to put that away. We're going to start off with the back to front approach. You follow this approach, you can get anything done without much hassle. All right. So if you look at the reference, yeah, today we have actually a lot of white sky, but let's start off with the backdrop first, yeah. It's going to be blue. I'm going to make it a little bit lighter blue by mixing some white. Okay, so you have slightly of white, slightly light blue. That is a little bit different from this blue, yeah, added with some light white added. So I'm going to avoid, yeah, today I'm going to shortcut a bit. I'm going to avoid painting over the areas that has got clouds, so that automatically I have my clouds already done. See? That saves you a lot of time, I can tell you that. All right, there goes. You almost got all your clouds ready. And I'm using very quite dry paint at the moment, so that the clouds can appear a little bit soft. Of course, you got to paint paint white afterwards. But like I said, in one stroke, I've already got the sky. All right. Then you're gonna have your clouds, but your cloud is not all white. Yeah, by the way, your clouds are basically a little bit of white, which is basically in our terminology. We don't have gray, so we're gonna add a little bit of gray to the blue, purplish. Yeah, but purplish means it's quite dark. So what we need to do is we are gonna add white. Okay, so that it looks a little bit off-white. Yeah, okay, this light color. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna paint the gray area. Gray area is basically shadows of the clouds. The clouds, believe it or not, they cast shadows. So I'm just going to paint shadows for the clouds. And this is white over the purple. So you're going to get shadow. At the moment, it looks a bit dark, but it's okay. You can add white first. Yeah? Hello, says. Okay, so we have a little bit grayish looking thing here. And we have left out the white highlights for the cloud simply because the highlights are actually on the top left hand corner. So we have actually shortcut the process, yeah, without having to paint too much of the clouds. So we're actually doing it pretty fast though. So if you want it a little bit lighter, just add white, that's all. I'm adding white. So you need to make the distinction between white clouds and shadow for the cloud, which is actually gray. This is what we already done. So I'm going to paint the gray area here. So these are the kind of tricks that people like us, we've been using it so many years to paint art for clients. And of course, we will take the fastest, the shortest cut. And this is one of it. So you have just learned a kind of trick of the trade, yeah? So without having to paint too much of the cloud, we already got clouds, we have a shadow, we have highlights on the clouds. And we achieve the highlight, yeah, by just leaving out the white areas white. That's all, because your base is already white. So why paint white when you already have white? Okay, there it goes. The sky, we can add a little bit more gray. Of course, later on you have time, you're going to add highlights to the clouds. By all means, do so, yeah. At this moment, we're just roughing out the shapes. As I said, once you actually mastered this technique of actually just going step by step, you would be on the way to actually doing a lot of other more complicated paintings than this. So today is not as complicated as it seems. Sean, as I said, yeah, Sean, I'm talking to Sean. If you cannot have a reference picture, but if you follow what I'm showing right now, you still can paint the whole thing actually. You don't need a reference picture. There you go. So we have sky already done. We're gonna leave it like this for the time being and move on to the hills. So if you want to paint more highlights later, you can, but at the moment I'm gonna leave it. So I have sky, blue sky. Oops, I'm gonna remove this brush, this hair stuck here. Okay. And of course, as you paint along, please remember to take photographs of your progress. I know sometimes I'm a little bit moving a bit fast, but we only have 2 hours, yeah? So let's make the best of it. Okay, now you have already done your sky, okay? Highlights of the clouds. We can make it more beautiful later. But for now, we are ready to move on to the next level, yeah? I have explained this earlier before, but in terms of painting sceneries and landscapes and all that, we work from back to front. The furthest thing away right now is the sky, and then we are going to move from the sky to the hills. Now, in terms of like when you're painting hills, I just want you to be aware that the further away from you an object is, it becomes a little bit lighter and less detailed. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Yeah, you already have your clouds done. I'm going to take you to the next stage. That is your hill in the background. And here in the background is actually a mixture of blue and red. So it's a bit grayish. But at the moment, if you just use grayish, it's going to be very dark. So I'm going to just mix a little bit of that. And I'm trying to create a gray color. You may want to switch to a smaller brush if you find it a bit too big, but it's okay for me. I'm going to add a bit of white to the mix so that it's not so dark. What you're trying to do is we are trying to make an object that's in front of the clouds slightly darker than the cloud. That's all. Let's see how it works. Sometimes it's hard to tell until you actually put it on the canvas. There you go. The moment I put it on the canvas, you can see, okay, it's okay not to have a color that's totally similar throughout. So what you have here is patchy looking cloud. This is a hill. Okay. And here is where we go in. So you notice even here itself, the colors of the hills are a little bit, it varies a bit. So I have the first layer of the hill. You see, as long as you can make it look a little bit darker than the sky, you have actually achieved the purpose. Without making it too dark, because as you come forward, it's going to get even darker. All right. So I got the distant mountain. All right, see? And I'm going to switch brushes after this. All right. So, sky, clouds, hills. We got that done within record time. 15 minutes in, and we are already making great progress. So I'm going to switch to the smaller brush, which is this one. Okay. Reason for that is, well, we want to get a little bit more detailing as we go along. Your hills at the moment is actually grayish looking. So what I'm trying to do is also to give it some body. And highlights. All right. Today, a lot of people going in and out. Yeah. So we have the hills done. So what I'm going to do for the hills, I'm going to give you a little bit of highlight so that it doesn't look so flat. You have got this grayish looking thing. So highlights are the texture of your hills catching the light. The light is coming in from the left to the right, and then it's coming down. Yeah. So what we're gonna do to suggest highlights on the hill, of course you can't use white. I'm gonna just add a little bit of blue to the green and on top of the gray. Okay, slightly. I have to make sure that it looks a little bit lighter than the gray, so that it shows that there's some kind of lighting catching the sun. All right, the principle of lighting is your highlight is going to be on the top left, and of course if you can control your strokes, you can create very interesting shapes. Yeah, otherwise your hues are going to look very flat. So you see, the moment I add in highlights, your hues start to show high and low areas. You don't have to be doing exactly what you see in the reference as usual. This is your interpretation of what the hills can look like. So you can see
Color you mix,
the color I have for the highlight is actually just the same place where I was doing the gray just now for the hill.
Okay.
I added a little bit of yellow, not too much, yeah.
Oh.
Yellow to that, so it's actually yellow to blue plus a little bit of red, so it's a little bit greenish in color. All right. So you don't have to wash your brushes, yeah. You already know that, yep. So whatever color we used earlier, we still it can still show up on your brush, but it's okay. So I'm just adding in highlights so that your hues look. The word that they like to use is undulating hues. That means the hues that go up and down. I'm overlapping where the houses are so that later on it's easy for you to just cover up. Okay, see, as the hue comes down, I'm also trying to make this area in the belly a little bit lighter. I want you to also realize that the amount of colors that I use here is very, very little. You notice it's not a lot of color. And there's a good reason for that, yeah. When you do not use too much color, what happens is that your brush is a bit dry, and when your brush is a little bit dry, it's a lot easier for you to create rough textures, yeah. Because when you're painting nature, there's going to be a lot of rough textures you need to create. So I just use the semi-dry brush and run over the canvas. You get a lot of interesting textures. See, we already got this. So your hues are already there. Okay, I think we should be quite happy with this for the time being. So a lot of times, these are things that we always suggest that you do. You do it quick, you do it fast without thinking too much. As long as you follow the step by step, I think you are quite safe. Details we can add later. For now, we are very happy with the hill. I'm ready to take you further in, yeah? All right, further in towards the front. All right, we were just now doing this. So now we're gonna do, I think this one here on the right hand side. There will be another hue right here. So we're all trying to make them a little bit different. All right, for this hue, we're gonna make it same process, gray, but this time your gray is derived from blue and red. So you get a bit of purplish. Okay, what I want to do is to create something that's slightly darker than the previous hue color. But I still got to add a little bit of white because the strongest color is still in front. So let's see what happens, yeah. Okay, all right, good, it's working. All right. So you can see, it's darker than here. It's darker than this part, yeah. There you go. All right, there you go. So we have another layer. I can make it a bit darker. At the moment, maybe it's not dark enough. Let's see what happens. I just add more purple. There, I think it's darker now. So even within the same block, you can have variations of color. Same thing. Here we go. One layer, two layer, three layer. That's quite fast. Okay, of course you can add highlight first if you want, but maybe while I'm still in the mood, I gotta paint right up to the hill in front. There's a house somewhere here, so I can bring the hill a little bit further in, but so that you can cover the house. I think the house can cover the hill later. All right, I'm gonna move from this hill to this one in foreground without adding highlights yet. So the process can be a little bit changed without affecting it too much. Okay, but this one looks very dark, yeah. So I may have to add a bit of yellow, white. So like I said, it's one of those things you go back and forth. Okay, I add a bit of white, then it looks a bit too dark, too light. Then we add more gray. Okay, this one should not be too lighter than this. Okay, so we gotta get back to darker. It is still blue and red. Okay, so it's a bit, all right, darker. Okay, we got that. Coming along very well. All right, so your foreground. And when you come to this part, later on, I think your textures are going to be a lot more interesting because you can start showing the trees. I'm just going to make it dark at the moment before we do highlights. You know, believe me, by the end of the 2 hours, you would have done something that you're going to be very impressed with because it looks very difficult. Actually, it looks difficult. A lot of people saw that and said, "Wow, my God!" But you would have done it. See, here we go. So you can see progressively your hues are coming together. Okay lah, I think we are doing too many hues already. So I'm gonna give you a break. I'm gonna give you a break. I'm not gonna work on the hues for now. Next step, yeah. Let's take you down to here. This is also to give you a sense that you're actually covering a lot more ground. All right. So you don't get so intimidated by what looks like a terrifying piece of work. Okay, see? Sky, hill, hill, hill. Now we are going to take you down to here. Okay? Let's get into the water for now. For that, you can use a big brush or you can use this brush. It's up to you. But because it's such a big area, it's probably a good idea to change your brush. Make sure you dry your brush, yeah? Or at least make sure it doesn't get dry with the paint. I'm going to just use a paper towel or tissue just to dry the brush. Otherwise, you're going to be dripping all over the place. Okay, your brush, just now I put it in the water, so I better dry it. Earlier on, we're using a bit of blue, so it's not too difficult to wash. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just add blue here without too much of the detail yet. Okay. Let me see. All right. So I got to take a drink. Okay, you're ready? We shall move in a minute. Okay, we are going to get into the water now. Water is, as you can already see, is actually mostly blue. So you can actually use this blue, but we're going to make it a little bit more interesting because if you only use blue, it's going to be quite boring. But for the time being, we're going to start off with blue. We're going to start off with blue. Okay, lots of blue. By the way, when you're painting water, it's a good idea to paint left to right. Just to give it that sense of flow. Let's add some blue here. And I would like to also throw in a little bit of maybe yellow so that there's a touch of green to the, you see when I add a bit of yellow, it turns a bit greenish. And you're going to get different patches of color, that is okay. Okay, you can blend the colors a bit if you want, but ultimately it's going to be blue. All right, so I'm going to have some blue here. This is just so that you can finish most of the painting before you go into doing the detailing for the for this area. This area will take you a little bit more time. So by finishing this area a little bit faster, you feel that you have a bit more time. Okay, so what is happening is I'm just painting blue from left to right, but as I move upwards, yeah, I'm going to add a bit of yellow, white, yeah, so that the blue isn't so blue. See, I'm going to mix a little bit of white. Of course, you don't want to mix too much white. At the moment, this is a bit too much, so but I'm going to put back a bit of blue so that it gets lighter. Okay, so it's actually a left to right kind of thing. I'm going to paint right up to here where the beach is. So you notice that there's actually different streaks of color here. You can go left to right and watch, the colors are actually going, in a way, it's a bit of a zigzag. All right, there you go. All right, see? So I can see on the small screen, we are blocking in all the colors quite fast. And that's a good thing, yeah? So you have actually made a lot of progress in just hardly 30 minutes. So this is actually just to give you a sense of achievement, and it helps you make very good progress. So the green, the blue, and all that is here. All right, I'm gonna make this part is gonna get even lighter, and I'm ready to move in a small brush very soon. All right, so this is, we have actually gone into the water. See, we got water. There you go.
Time now is 2:30 p.m.
All right, so we have water already done. See how fast we got it done. My God, this is amazing. But like I say, the devil is in the detailing later on. So you have actually done so far sky, mountain, hills, and the water. Right? We will get into detailing of the water shortly. But let's work on the hills after this. Yeah. I'm going to add highlights to the hill in the foreground so that your landmass will take shape. I'm going to wash this big brush. I don't need this for now. I'm going to go back to the middle size brush. But of course, please squeeze your water so that it's dry. It's a bit wet at the moment, so let me just put in some water. Put in some tissue paper. All right, there you go. So we got the hills already done. So let's give this area a bit more highlight. The rolling hills are coming out. So as before, I'm going to put a bit of blue mixed with a little bit of yellow, so we get green. But this is a little bit too strong, a bit garish color. So I'm going to add a little bit of red and probably more yellow. Okay, let's see what happens. So this color doesn't look, well, it looks a little bit greenish without looking too neon sign like. Yeah? Okay, but I think I need this to be a little bit lighter, so I'm adding a bit of white, not too much white, just enough so that your green will stand out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to try and see whether I can put in some highlights here. When you are using paint for highlight, it's a good idea to keep your quantity of paint very little. See, I'm mixing very little paint, that's all, not a lot. So when I apply the brush canvas, my brush is basically a little bit dry. So you can get very interesting textures. Watch this, yeah. I don't know whether you can see it here. Hang on. See what happens. I'm just gonna give a few more dabs. It's just basically dabbing and using the texture of the brush itself. See what happens. I'm just giving the impression that there's actually a lot of maybe plants or trees here. You can see that, right? Let me see. I bring down the phone. Hang on. See whether you can see it. Okay, you see this? Can you see? Because from far it's actually a little bit difficult, but nearer maybe. But I think the lighting makes it a little bit difficult to tell at the moment. Later on, I'm just adding textures by dabbing. So when you're dabbing, you never cover everything that's there. But that's good because it gives you a sense of light and dark area. So shadows are there. Okay. All right. So it's not coming very clearly at the moment. Let's see what happens when I put in a bit more yellow. Just give me a minute. Yeah. All right. Okay. So the yellow highlights are not coming out as well as it should. So I'm going to add in a bit more yellow. And I don't want it to be too strong. So I'm going to add a bit of light white color. Probably a little bit too strong, but let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. So I'm getting the highlights a lot stronger now. So this is the interesting part. You're playing a highlights. And we keep the highlights to the top left to reflect the fact that the light is coming in from the top left as well. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. See? So you have something that looks like a lot of jungle here. All right, see? So your jungle is taking shape. There goes. Okay, there goes. So it looks a lot more happening right now. Okay, that's stage 2. Now the third hill that's closer to us. I'm going to do almost the same thing, just so that we build our, we start building our little mountain. I'm still using almost the same color because they are quite close to each other anyway. So there will be variety of colors. You can see the hues coming up live. Okay, I'm just gonna add more here. Let me see. How can Okay, there you go. Nice. There you go. Look at the hues coming up. You can almost see monkeys climbing out here, yeah?
Not in mine.
Look at this there. Your hues are coming along. Look, see what happens. This is what I mean by detailing later on. You're gonna add a lot more detail. I can tell you. Detailing is gonna take you maybe in the next 2 days. You probably spend time on this. It's gonna be fun actually. So when I'm actually dabbing, what I'm trying to do is also to go in maybe a curvy kind of fashion so that it doesn't look straight. I'm always trying to turn the brush away. Okay, we will add more detail to the plants later. Okay, so we already got the hills, and we are ready to block out more colors. Now this is where it gets interesting. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of hills here in the background. Let's see what happens. I think I can add a bit more hill here. Just give me a minute. Well, the hill is basically gray color. I gotta dry my brush. I just washed my brush because it's got a lot of yellow. Okay. Before I do the this area. Okay, now let me see. What should I do? This is interesting. You may want to actually try this out. Yeah. We're gonna use a small brush just so that we have a rough idea what we are doing. Now, what you have in front of you here, right in the middle of your painting, is actually there's some houses here. Okay, there is those houses are all in the background. What I'll do is maybe I will use either a brush. Brush is not going to cut it. Is it going to cut it? Maybe you can. All right, I'm going to use a red color just to show you what we do. Okay, when you look at the scene, you see houses, you see trees. It looks very complicated. Okay, but when you actually painting this, yeah, what is happening is you are looking at squares and triangles. Those are not very difficult things to do. So I'm going to show you how to do your squares and triangles. I'm going to start off with this house on the left, yeah. On the left, all you need to do is just draw a box. Box is just a square. This one, if you can, keep it horizontal as you can, left to right. And this is box. Okay, this one I think all of you can do a box. Okay, that's one box. Now, there is another box here. Hard to tell at the moment. Let me just show you a box. Left to right again. Keep it parallel to your top of the board, yeah? So what you have, I draw it simple so that you can see that it's actually a very simple box. Number two, of course, you don't have to draw the whole box at the moment. It's just 1, 2. Once you do look at it that way, it's not so frightening. It's actually a box. In fact, all buildings are boxes. It's just a matter of how you combine with triangles, which you're going to do later. One box, two box. Now there's another box here. It's going to be like that. Let's look at it. So it's not so frightening, right? See, it's only a box. Don't be scared. I'm using red just to. Okay. So one box, two box. You can draw all the way down you want. The trees that you see, you don't worry about that first because that one will overlap whatever background picture you're going to have. I just want you to see that you have to draw only one box, two box. If you want, now this is where you can actually subdivide and make things a little bit more interesting. Okay, I'm going to draw another box. So basically it's all a range of very simple box. Keep it simple. So this is one box, two box, three box. And there is another box here. So we are only drawing boxes at the moment. So that we don't scare ourselves, yeah? It can look so difficult, but actually it's only boxes. All right. This one I think all of us can do. Forget the tree for the time being. So this is box all the way. This is your flag. I don't know what they call this thing. Yeah? This one could be called an embankment. It could be a wall, seawall. Okay. Now I will take you one more step. Yeah. You have one box, two box, three box, four box. I'm going to take you one more step that will make that will put a roof on top of your house. Okay. And all you need to do is just learn to draw a triangle. All right. Drawing a triangle is not difficult. It's gonna be. Let me just show you what I mean by drawing a triangle is not difficult. Look, this is a straight box. I'm going to show you how to draw the roof for here. Yeah, just watch this. Yeah, all you got to do is just extend the top part of your box a little bit to the right. Okay. Okay. Now, all you have to do next is just draw. Some people call this a triangle. It can be a diagonal line. It's not really a diagonal, but okay. We already done the roof. So it's just a matter of doing the line like this. Okay, and adding another line, but this one is not, it is actually left to right, this one here. Okay, so you have this, so you have a roof. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing here so that you can see drawing a roof is not difficult. All you're going to do is on top of your box, extend a little bit. Of course here you can't see because of the tree. I'm going to just add another. You can call this a triangle, you can call this a diagonal, up to you. It goes flat and then after that it goes down again. So this is actually, if you look at this, I just draw a triangle for you so you can see that. So you have actually done one triangle, one box, one triangle. So that makes your roof. All right. This is before we start coloring. Yeah. At the moment, I just want you to understand how you're going to get your roof done. Here you have uh, a roof as well. Okay. So what we're going to do, same thing. You can actually extend this side a bit. And we're going to add a triangle. If you like, you can draw this so you can see it's a triangle. And next thing is you just flatten this out. And of course, your roof can go right up to the end, or you can actually just slope off here. It's really up to you, but at the moment, because there's going to be a tree there, so it makes no difference. Of course, you can add the tree or you can leave out the tree, that's okay, no problem at all. So we have already got a house. Watch. Okay, and that's all there is to it. This is all flat. And of course here, you can add a roof again, same thing, roof. This is a straight line. I'm going to extend this a little bit, add a triangle, and you got a roof. There. So once you have done that, you would have drawn all the roof. The next thing to do is we're going to cover the houses. Yeah. But before we color the houses, there are a few other things we want to do. So this is what all you're going to do, yeah? Keep all your lines, the top of the roof parallel to the top of your board. And the vertical side, yeah, is actually just parallel to this. So it's actually just, like I said, boxes. All right. Now, I think you already got this. So next thing we're going to do, before we start painting in the color of the house, I'm going to go back to my good old blue and red. Okay, this is for the window. I'm going to show you why I want to do this first before I paint in the house color. All right, I'm going to make something dark. It's purple again. Yeah, it's basically blue. It is dark color, blue and red. Yeah, it's purple. All right. You can see here there's a roof and there's two windows here, right? Windows at the moment, what you will do is draw something like this. Apply to Sugamari. Okay. So I'm gonna draw a window. I'm gonna draw two windows. You can make 2 or 3 windows up to you. Okay, windows, and over here you can have a thin window because the wall is actually at an angle, so this side can be a bit thinner. I think I'll add a few more windows. That would be nice. Okay. The reason I'm just painting it dark color so that all you got to do it afterwards when you paint in the wall, then your windows are going to be perfect. Welcome, Angie. Angie, you're going to start with the sky and the hills first, yeah? Okay, here we go. And of course, all the windows, whatever windows you need. Okay. I'm going to add a few more windows here just to make it more interesting. Here, you can have some windows. So you see when you're drawing building, it can be quite interesting. I'll add in a few more windows here. Okay. These are simplified windows, by the way. If you like, you can actually add more detail. I'm just adding dark colors for the windows so that afterwards when you paint the wall, it looks interesting. All right. So what you will be doing is you are actually painting in layers of different colors just to build up the shape. Because after this, your trees are going to overlap, but the trees will be last. Yeah. So we are going to do this for the time being. We got okay. Okay. Another thing that you can do because you're actually doing dark color at the moment, I'm going to just enhance the dividing line between the roof and the walls. Yeah? I'm going to make it a little bit darker before I paint the colors of the wall anyway. So between the roof and the wall, I'm going to just make it a little bit darker. So this would be a shadow of some sort. Yeah? So you can see we're actually doing all the shadow area first before we do highlight. It's almost like light and shadow again. All right. And sometimes between even here, you can make it interesting, yeah, by making parallel shapes. You see there's a triangle here. Behind the triangle, there's another roof. Yeah. Let me just show you what you can do. I'm just using the dark color. This is actually a triangle. Triangle, and then there's another roof here. This makes it interesting. See? I'm just using gray, whatever color I have. This is just to show you that you can actually add layers, yeah, without too much trouble. So once you're done there, I think it's quite easy for you to do your, it's very easy for you to do squares and triangles. All right. So we have quite quickly, we have actually quite quickly done the roof. All right. So now what we can do, of course, not all roof is gray. You can mix color for the roof, yeah? I will show you. We can use a lot of Mediterranean houses, a lot of, not just Mediterranean. I think this color that they are using is terracotta. Terracotta is a bit orangey. So orangey you can get by mixing yellow with red, so you get orange, but that one can be a bit too garish color. So I mix a little bit of, my brush is not exactly very clean, it's got a little bit of blue, so, but that's okay. So what you're getting right now, I'm trying to mix a color that's orangey. Let's see what happens. I'm going to paint the roof now, yeah. You can just fill up the colors here. See, okay. And now is a time when you need to be a little bit more steady. Keep your roof color within the red line. You can paint over the red line. Okay, and avoiding the dark color if you can. So we have, of course, later on, if you have time, you're going to do all the roof tiles. At the moment, we are not doing roof tiles. We are just painting the color of the roof. See, I already got, see?
Is that a stand?
Yep.
Looks
What?
look a bit you're talking about like terracotta, is it?
Yeah. It's orangey color. It can be a bit yellowish at the moment. At this moment, we are not doing the roof tiles in detail. So what you're doing is just a lighting. You're just doing the color of the roof. So that now you see, like if I don't paint in the color of the roof, then you have a red outline. It doesn't look like a roof. You see that? The moment I paint in the color of the roof, then you can see your house is taking shape. Okay? You already drawn in all your whatever square and triangle. So when you draw square and triangle, you find it a lot more easy to handle. You see? So now what you're doing is you're painting your color into the squares and triangle. And we try and keep between the roof and the wall, we try and keep the dark color because that would be the shadow of the roof. And also quite often there'll be a what do you call it, a gutter. There'll be a gutter. That one usually can be black color, so we're using that to divide the roof from the wall. So once you paint this, your house will start to take shape. So there goes the, like I say, it's not so difficult when you break it down like that. Of course, when you look at the overall picture, it looks wow, my God, it's so complicated. But once you break it down to steps like this, it becomes a lot more manageable. You can make the roof color a little bit lighter if you want. I've actually changed the roof a little bit, but it's okay. I mean, end of the day, what you're painting is some houses sitting on the on a wall, yeah, near the sea. That's what you have. And the roof color is something that it doesn't have to be the same for every house. It can be a bit lighter. You can add more yellow to the red so that it becomes a little bit not so orangey. It can be yellowish, yeah. But don't paint yellow roof lah. It's a bit ugly. So maybe this a bit too yellow. So I'm gonna add back a bit of red so that it becomes a bit orangey. So most of the roofs are orangey in color. I don't know whether they call it orange. I think they call it red roof towns. So, but that's just for them to tell you, oh, it's not blue. It's reddish. It's warm color. And of course, if you put your red roof tiles on the roof for too long, the colors can fade also. Yeah, so it can be a lot lighter than this. Okay, I'm just gonna make I'm gonna make the tiles a little bit lighter for here. So you can see that by combining simple shapes, yeah, geometric shape, square and triangle, that's how you get to do your house. I'm just making this roof a little bit lighter by adding some white to the mixture. And I also try and keep maybe the edge a bit darker, so that there's maybe an outline of sort. Yeah, take a look. Yeah. Of course, later on, if you have time, you can slowly go in for a lot more detailing. All right, so we have already got the roof. We have already got the sides of the houses. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you next step. Yeah, you already have the roof. You already have all the windows. Now we're going to do the wall. And quite often houses it again depends on the region where you are, the place where you are. Some people use white wall, but I think in this area they use a lot of orangey, yellowish walls, and I'm gonna just add white, yeah, to the orange that we had. But at the same time, what I wanted to do is also give it a sense of maybe uh, if I just put a light color, it looks like it's a bit too, what is the word for it? We can actually, the light is coming from the left. I can actually throw some shadows onto the wall. The shadow can be achieved by just making this color. This is actually yellow and red, so orangey, plus a bit of white, so that it's not as orange as this one. But what I'm doing, I'm just adding a bit of blue to the mix so that it becomes a little bit more. I'm going to suggest that it's like in the shadow. So I'm going to mix a little bit of blue to the mix so that it becomes a bit grayish. Okay, now this is where your control of the brush should be quite interesting now, because let me just show you. Yeah. All right. Earlier on, you remember you painted your windows, and because the way the paint is, sometimes very hard to draw nice square. So your windows are not very square. So this is a time when you correct that, yeah? You see, I'm just painting a color that's a little bit off white. Okay, I'm gonna just paint over here. I'm gonna do it slowly, okay? Wow, got music. Yes, somebody is in the singing mode. Okay, I'm just gonna draw as straight as I can. This is a good time for you to define your windows, yeah? Slowly, I'm gonna take my time with this. All right. Now, because sometimes it's a bit difficult to draw straight line, sharp windows, yeah? So I'm gonna just take this chance here to do. Let me just bring it close up a bit. Hang on a minute. All right, take a look at this. You look at the windows, they are not very squarish. So, but if you're gonna paint this, you must well make use of this time, yeah, to define your windows. So it looks a bit more squarish. Okay, it doesn't work the first time. Let's go over one more time. Right, see? So that your windows look a lot more square. So by painting it this way, you can get very nice, nice looking squares. See? You see the difference? Okay. Of course, you can actually do a lot more detail if you have a small brush later on and you go in and paint more. Okay, so you got this. I'm gonna just finish it off here because there's not a tree blocking anyway. So, all right. So you can see what you had originally. Yeah. Let me just show you when the first time we did the windows. They are like this. Okay. But when you paint it in, this is a chance for you to define the shape you want to. You want to create a square or a rectangle. This is a very good way of doing it. So just go around the windows and you got a very nice square. See? So we got that. Let's give me a minute. And of course, this is another layer here where you can see the windows, but this one is a little bit, you can still make it look very, very neat, but this window is a little bit narrower. All right. Simply because I think the wall is a different wall altogether. So I'm going to just add this and areas like this I'm going to put trees and plants, yeah. So look at that. So you got, this is what basically you are doing. So it's easy for you to paint squares and triangles. All right. So in this particular case, your house need not necessarily be simply because it doesn't have perspective. Yeah. All right. I'm going to paint almost the same color here. I'll just show you since we added and since we still got the color. I'm going to just mix a bit more color here. I'm going to make it a bit darker, add a bit of red. So it's a little bit, it looks like it's a color that's in shadow. Okay, I'm just going to add it here, yeah. And because this painting is actually is drawn from quite far away, so it's almost like perfect. All your lines are perfectly straight. There isn't very much perspective. So of course it's nice you have a very much thinner brush. Yep. But I'm making do with what I have on hand. All right, so you got that. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'm just gonna add a bit more. And there are certain parts of the wall that catches the light, but that one I'm gonna worry about that later. For now, I just want to just block in the colors. Okay, So you have nice, so you have windows. My God, there you go. You have windows. I'm going to just continue here and let's see what happens. Okay. It looks very simple at the moment because it is a very kiddie looking drawing when you look close up. Yeah. Let's continue a bit more using the same color and we're just building windows. Later on, if you like to add more details to the windows, you can. But for now, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to just add, I'm going to mix the color a bit so that it looks like a bit cool color in the shade. All right, a little bit more shadow. Let's see. Wow, okay. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah. All right. You have 3 windows. I'm going to just paint over it. Watch. Okay, 1, 2. So just to make your windows look squarish. Okay, let's. Of course, later on you can use a pen or whatever to improve the drawing. All right. So we got that. All right. So it's 1 floor of the building. All right. So we are back. So when you look at it from this distance, well, you already got your houses colored. We can put highlights to the walls later. For now, let's put layers, different colors. Okay. So that, like I say, end of the day, when you look at it, it doesn't look so intimidating. Like in the early part, yeah, it looks scary. But now I think it's all right. We're gonna use smaller brushes later, but okay, I'm gonna paint more of this wall. So what I'm doing at the moment is just adding in different dimension, different shades, so that they look like different walls with different shades of gray, different shades of yellow. This one looks very dark. Maybe it's too dark, but we'll see. Okay, between this building and this building, you can actually paint something very dark. Okay, I'm just separating the walls. Okay, the light is coming from the left, so this wall probably will catch a lot of shadow, so it's quite dark. Okay, this is number 1. And of course, I try and keep it as vertical as I can. All right. So these are all layered buildings. Okay, I'm going to just add in between the triangles as a shape. The roof hasn't come in yet. All right. So we got this. So they are very simple geometric shapes, you can see. And there's another wall here. I'm going to just paint that in as well, so that it's, again, if you look at it, it's only a square or an oblong. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to just paint this. So it's not so difficult. Look, it's a different color now. I can make it as opposed to this one. This one is got more yellow. So walls can have different color. That helps you to give it depth. So when you look at it this way, it's like squares and triangles. What's so difficult? All right, so you go. And all this comes from just doing basic stuff from back to front, step by step. Okay. So I already have a wall. I only need to, as a last bit, I need to only add in the trees. Okay. But for now, looking at the walls coming up, well, so you already built walls for your buildings. Okay. Like here, I can modify the roof if I want. Okay, we can do that in a bit, yeah. But let's paint this wall as well, since we already got a window. All right, I have wait, I'm gonna just make this a little bit orangey again. Orange in the shadow. I'm gonna add some red. So all the walls can be slightly different because I think they belong to different people anyway. Okay, so I'm going to just paint and I'm going to define your window. See that? So that your squares for the windows are very neat. Look at that. I'm just painting squares. Simple squares. I'm sure most of you would have done more complex stuff like this. So when you look at the simple squares, you can see, wow, it's not as difficult as you thought, yeah? All right, so basically it's all vertical lines, horizontal lines, and then angled lines for your roof. Now we haven't really looked into highlights yet, so let's add in more colors so that we get this done.
Okay, do we adjust the proportion of the wall of the house?
Well,
The brick?
your wall, you're talking about where? This area?
Yellow. Yeah.
Well, I think we are not concerned about the what do you call it, accuracy of the house at the moment.
Okay.
What you are actually looking at is actually whether it's a 3-story building or 2-story building. We are basically like, if I see one row of windows like this here, that's 1 story, all right? And this one is above this house, so this is another story. Okay, so below this there's probably most likely another story, but because you're going to have plants later on, yeah,
Well, the trees will cover.
the trees will cover, exactly.
So you see mine, is it okay?
Where is yours? I can't see you.
Too small.
Let me see. Yeah, where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on there. Let's spotlight a bit. Yeah. Okay, I think that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, your buildings are a little bit more, a little bit taller, but it's okay. I mean,
Yeah, taller.
yeah, you can extend the wall to the little bit closer to the middle if you like.
Extend the wall. Okay.
Yeah, because your wall is right at the middle, and the other one has what you need to do is maybe your windows can be dark color.
Darker. Okay.
Because I can't see the windows at the moment. Yeah, it's okay, but mother and daughter are doing very well. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay,
Darker windows.
you are basically building a scene, and as I said, later on you can start detailing a bit more when you have time. So what you're doing at the moment is just laying down the basic foundation. If your buildings are a bit taller, we just got to modify and make your trees a little bit bigger.
Trees bigger. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so like I said, when you look at it in terms of like squares and boxes and triangle, it's not so scary. Yeah. Okay. So what you were showing just now, your I think your wall is somewhere on the, you are a little bit closer to the left. If you like, you can add a few more smaller buildings on the right. Yeah. So that you can access. The idea is to make sure that your wall, this wall, it goes past your middle line. Yeah. Somewhere here. This may be 2/3 of your picture. In fact, I can make it a bit further here afterwards. Yeah. So things like this are variables that can change over the next few hours, depending on how you work on it. All right. So okay, now let's move on to here. I'm going to just paint up the wall so that I can continue to this embankment. I call this embankment before we do trees. I'm going to add. Okay, here, let me see now. I'm just going to fill up this area a bit. It's actually yellowish stuff, but because the trees are going to be there, I'm just going to do a background picture, a background color. So you don't really need to spend too much time here. And some people just paint the trees immediately. It's also okay, you know. So I'm just keeping it simple so that step by step, yeah, you won't get confused. And of course, if you like, like I say, you can always build another wall, not wall, this can be, you can extend your building a bit. Yeah, I can do that, see? And I can leave a window there or two, there. I can extend the building. So, you see, I've already extended the wall here. And I will extend the wall a bit more later. So things like these are variables. Variables can change, so not an issue. I'm just trying to fill up the the empty spaces before I do the this foreground wall. All right, like this area, uh, this this wall here and this wall is actually part of the same structure. So the only difference is this side catches the light, yeah. That's why it's white in lighter shade, yeah. So these are the things that we need to observe, yeah, in terms of lighting. Okay. In perspective drawing, you do this all the time. So I'm just gonna keep this area light. So you can see I've already extended this wall. Okay, here I've extended this wall. And what else can I do? I think I might want to paint in the roof before I come down here. Okay, I'm gonna paint in the roof. So the roof is a little bit orangey. Orangey color coming up. Orange is yellow and red. Yellow and red. See? And maybe a bit of white. I'm just gonna paint in the roof. Okay, orange. After this, we can look at shadows of the roof actually if you want. But I also need to look at like the dark areas between the roof and the wall. That one we can add on later also, no problem. All right, see. Even the roof itself will have shadows. So we got this, we got this, we got this. So now, quite quickly, we've actually roughed out the roof. Let me just add one more color to this wall, this roof here. Okay, this one can be painted. All right, so we have all the roof done. So the only thing is to separate the roof from the wall by making a dark color. You can use a small brush for that after, okay? But for now, this is what we have, and I can actually add in one more roof here. That's why architecture is interesting. You can vary, you can change. So it's actually depending on the design. I'm just adding in a little bit more, one more roof here. Okay, at the moment not very clear, but okay, you got that. I'm going to have trees overlapping. All right. So because the trees are right up front, yeah. So I'm going to do the embankment wall first, yeah. So this area is quite interesting. All right, I'm going to do the this wall before I do the plants. This wall basically consists of I'm going to use small brush. Dark color is basically I'm going to use. Let me show you what color I'm using for here. I'm just going to use blue and red to create a dark wall. Of course, it's patchy, yeah. All right, look at the wall, yeah. The wall is not one straight line across. It's actually like that. It can be like, again, this is really up to the artist involved. It depends on how you read what you see. I'm just going to paint something like this so that you can see immediately. Of course, sometimes the wall will go all the way straight, but depending on the side, quite often the walls will slope down, and they don't want to do slope down, so what they do is they do steps like this. Yeah? So tall wall, go down. It's like step down design. So I'm going to do steps. Okay. Now this area, you'll notice I'm using just blue and red to create a dark wall. But even the wall itself is not flat color. So basically it's like, okay, I got this. All right, see? So it's getting to be quite fun. So look at this, yeah? All these are actually right angle. It's all mini boxes actually. I'm going to add one more extension. Okay. So it's all right angle. So this is where the fun is. So the wall itself is not a flat wall. So you can actually have different textures. Your brush strokes can be just like that. I can lighten certain parts by adding yellow to the red. So it can be, I can just have different colored wall. It's not one perfectly whitewashed wall. It's called a weather-beaten wall. So weather-beaten walls are basically walls that has withstood the test of time. Maybe it's been there for the last 30, 40 years. I'm going to just make the steps a little bit more. But I'm just going to add one more step to the ramparts. I think they call it ramparts. I'm not very sure. My English doesn't cover too much architectural thing at the moment. So okay, so here we go. So I'm just extending the wall. You can add in little sheds on the wall later. I mean, this can be structures where people go down for picnics and stuff like that. Like I said, your reference is only for you to just get moving. You can change as you go along. So I'm actually just painting the wall, and you notice the strokes I'm using. If I am trying to just give it a sense of maybe top to bottom. I drag it down because it's like sometimes in weather, in rain, what happens is the water will come down, so you get a lot of these streaks. And you also notice that the wall, next to the wall is, I believe this is a sand. Okay, this is something that you may not notice, yeah, but I just wanted you to know. If you go to the beach often, if you go to the seaside often, you'll notice, okay, if you have a wall, and usually sometimes the wall will go right to the water, but before it reaches the water, there's always a beach. A beach can be, well, sand, it can be rocks, it can be anything, but basically what happens is it slopes up. That's why you have this. Take a look at this here. These are things that you realize if you go to the sea very often, like I do. The seaside where you see water meets the land, it's always, there's a sheer wall that goes right to the bottom, and there's always the other one that where it slopes up. That is basically when you have earth, when you have sand. And the color I'm using here is I'm just messing it up a bit, but basically I'm also creating that texture top to bottom. Yeah, it's going down so that it's got the sense that it's a weather-beaten wall. It's got, there you go. I'm just continuing. Yeah. So it's actually red and blue and sometimes yellow. I'm just adding into the. Okay, watch this part. I want you to be aware of this. Yeah, the water is always level. This is water. Yeah, where the brush is the water. So if your wall sticks straight down, it's going to be one straight line across. That's the water line. The beach, basically, you can see here, the beach here is left to right, is horizontal, is parallel to the bottom of your board. So that is your water level. Between the water and the land, there will be a slope. This is actually a slope, could be sand. So what I'm doing now is I'm just painting the wall. So I want you to be aware that your wall slopes up. I mean, the wall is there, it doesn't slope, but what is sloping up is the sand. So this part is all sand. Okay, let's finish the wall first. Okay, the wall has got, wow, lots of color. Because your sun is coming in from the left, maybe slightly behind the building. Okay, so this side of the wall doesn't catch the light, so it's a bit dark. That's okay because it creates a very nice, interesting effect. So what you have is red and blue and a little bit of yellow. Okay. I know you're looking at the picture, you can see boats, you can see a lot of things there, but those will be the detail. You're not going to do that now. Long as you get the walls, the trees, the buildings, for the time being, you will be very happily wrapping up your piece later. All right, see? So you have sky, the hill, the mountains far away, the hills in the foreground, the slopes in the closer, and you have the wall. All right, so this is where the wall is. All right, we are taking, I'm just taking you from back to front, yeah? I'll show you bits and pieces of how to get detail later, but for now, this is what you have. Okay, you got your wall. And you have the slope, and then this is the shoreline. Okay, now let me just show you what you can do before you put in trees. Yeah, your wall is there. All right, your sand, I'm going to put in the sand. Okay, the thing about the sand is you also notice, let me just put in the sand first. I'm going to give it a color that's a bit lighter. Sand color varies from location to location. Some places got very white sand, but most places actually it's nicer to have golden sand. I mean, yellowish kind of thing. It's very nice. Let me just show you. Golden sand would be a bit of red and yellow, plus a little bit of. I have a little bit of blue, but blue would be more shadow. Okay, I'm just gonna put in the suggestions of sand. So this will be a bit lighter than those colors you saw. I'm just going to put in the sand first. And on the sand, you also realize that there are shadows. But that will be the shadow of the trees. So it works very nicely when you look at it. You have trees, you have shadows. It's nice. It gives you a dimension. It gives you shape. I'm just going to put in the sand first. Here we go. You got beautiful sand. So we are slowly, we are getting there. And actually, we're getting there quite fast. It's been a very adventurous bit of time. So the boats and all that we are not going to do at the moment because you won't have very much time. I want you to actually do all the basic structures. Anyway, after class, I'm going to continue the video a bit. I'm going to add in the boat so that you can refer to it on video later on. For now, I want you to learn to put in all the shadows. The basics are all here. I want to bring the sand down to the same level as the wall. I mean the bottom of the wall, because that's where the beach is. Okay, I'm just going to bring it now. Okay, so this is your sand. This is a very nice little beach. So you got okay. So it's looking like the kind of place I like to go to actually. All right. So I have the wall, I have the beach, I have the sand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put shadows on the sand. Yeah. Shadow on the sand is basically, well, we're going to use purple again.
Time now is 3:30 p.m.
Wow, okay, but it's not too bad, 3:30 and we're already here. Look at that, man. Okay, so I'm going to basically paint in the shadow. The shadow will be just same color, but we're going to add blue. Hang on. And red, so that is a little bit darker. Okay, it's a bit purplish, I guess, with a little bit of yellow. So, okay, I want to get shadows here. Okay, watch here. It's a little bit dark. I'm just lightening it a bit. These are all the strong shadows. I'm going to add in a bit of white. Okay, there you go. Look at that. So the shadows, because you have to remember, we are actually doing shadows not just for the wall, yeah. There are a lot of trees in the just in front of the wall. So we're gonna add in, let me see, I'm just gonna make it a bit more purple. Let's see what happens. All right. So something that's a little bit darker. Right. So you get shadows. It will make a lot more sense immediately after this when I start putting in the trees. Then you can see. Okay, I'm just gonna put in shadows. Shadows. Okay, there you go. Shadows. So in terms of, as I said, the subject matter itself looks very complex. Okay, but what I've actually done today is to actually show you a way to do the minimum for the time being. You are actually doing all the basic steps necessary. The only thing that's missing here is actually your detailing. That's all it is. All right, I'm going to do the next thing here. You already have the sand. You've already got the beach. The next thing that we're going to do is your trees. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Yeah. Now you've already painted all these things. Okay. The trick is sometimes to you want to put trees to block. So sometimes what we do, we're going back to very dark colors. And very dark colors means I'm going to mix blue and red, so it looks very dark purple. All right, I'm going to just use this dark color to establish where the trees are going to be and the bushes. Roughly, okay, you got one major one here. Okay, that's why I love this. You got to paint over what you have done before. So you have tall trees. Nice to make it more of a lot darker. Okay, so you got tall trees here. It comes out all the way here. Purple, dark, as dark as you can. Don't add white here. We are just putting in blocking in the shapes at the moment so that you can see trees. Okay, 1, 3, 2, 3. They overlap each other. All right, so we got trees, 2 trees. These are, I think, I don't know what they call it, cypress trees or something like that. A little bit like your Christmas tree. Okay, so the trees basically are also triangular, basically triangular in shape. The base is a little bit wider. I mean the leaves, yeah. So they point out to the sky. It gets smaller as you go up. So the biggest areas are here. Okay, these are the trees. All right, so immediately you have actually block off one chunk of plants. The next one is, okay, there's one big chunk here. This one looks like Christmas tree. Anyway, so this one is almost like pine tree sort of thing. So a pine tree is, again, I'm using something dark. So it's going to cover quite a fair bit. All right. So we got, so it tapers to the sky. And you have pine-shaped trees. All right. This one. So you notice that I'm using dark colors just to block in all the main the shapes of the trees. And of course, in the foreground, you have here. These are, I call them the round trees. Yeah, we are not going to bother with the highlights at the moment, but these are like, okay. Let me see. Let me see my phone. Let's turn a bit. Okay, I rotate it so that your orientation is maybe easier. But anyway, trees are trees. Okay, I'm just going to put in round trees. So you notice that I leave some of the background color behind, so I don't want to cover everything so that it's like it's a see-through kind of thing. I'm going to put in maybe, okay, this is a tree trunk, okay, and there'll be a tree trunk for all these trees in the foreground. And maybe some bushes here. All right. And let me add some small bushes. And these are trees again. So I know it's a bit difficult to tell at the moment. All right. I'm just putting in rough shapes for the trees. Maybe I'm going to cheat a bit, yeah. Today, since the colors are very dark already. All right, sometimes when the situation calls for it, okay, this is when you can start using your black. But, take a look at this. You don't see this very often. This is black. All right, I'm going to use very sparingly as usual. Let me just show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just dig up one depth of, this is black, okay? As opposed to the dark color that you have, so that I have something that is even darker than here. So the reason for adding this sometimes is just so that your trees can be even darker, because these are basically dark colors. So I'm just going to dab it on the shadow side so that you can see the dark colors. And these are overflowing plants, okay, so that you can separate the, because this whole area is already dark. So I'm just going to add, I'm not going to use a whole spoonful, I'm just going to use a big, just like that, yeah, because you really don't need too much. I'm just using this just to define and make the shapes a little bit more contrasty, yeah. All right, so you got trees. I'm going to add it here. All right, darker shades. Okay, that's mainly so that you can tell that there is a difference between the wall and the trees. Okay, I'm just going back to this. Yeah, I'll take a bit of black later when the need arises. Okay, I'm just going to add more dark color. There's a little bit of black in my brush at the moment. So I'm going to add in more trees here. Okay. Oh, okay. There you go. So these are all the trees. So it's actually just quite a simple matter of blocking out colors. I'm doing blocking colors. I'm just adding trees here. All right. So all your basic steps are already done. More trees. I'm going to add more trees, more branches. So your wall is there, but it's covered by trees and plants. Okay, it will make sense a little bit more once you add in highlights to the trees. At the moment, it's still quite messy, but it's looking so good. Looking great, actually. All right. So all your main shapes are already in. I'm going to paint a bit more here. These are going to be trees. Of course, there are windows here. You can add more detail later when you have smaller brush and more time. But see what happens. You've got trees. Okay. I'm just blocking out all the color. All right. See. Trees. Wow, look at that. So I used a little bit of black today. It's not sinful to use black when it helps you to get the things that you want. I think it's good. Okay, I'm just going to define the that layer between the wall and the sand. All right, here we got all the trees. So now you can see the wall, the slope going up. I'm going to make the slope even more clearer by making it a little bit darker between the wall. That will be the wall. Okay. All right. So we have the wall. We have the trees. Okay. Now let's see how to. Now is the time when your buildings are going to stay in the background. Of course, you can add more detail later. But for now, let's do the highlights for the tree. Highlights for the tree. Basically, what you have is you already have a very dark background for your tree. Let's see. I'm going to just add yellow. And a little bit of red to the blue, yellow to the blue. And okay, let's put in some colors now. All this looks quite gray and down, yeah? Okay. Again, based on your premise that the sun comes from the left and shines diagonally across. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add highlights to the trees. At the moment, it doesn't look like highlight, it's just green on the, it's kind of dark green, but it's okay. I'm just going to establish a sense of maybe lighting. Not very clear at the moment, but it's going to come out soon. Hang on, I'm just going to add in drops of paint that gives you a sense of the body and the form of the plant. Okay, it will take a couple of rounds. Okay, I'm going to add in just to give it some shape. Okay, I can add in some blue, some green. And of course, not all trees got the same shade, yeah? And some are lighter, some are darker, some are greener. I'm just roughing out at the moment. Again, like I say, I'm using very dry brush. And because you already laid down a layer of dark color, so this is just to enhance that whatever you've done just now. I'm just adding in a little bit of course, your trees need not necessarily be green. Yeah? Some of them can be red because of the plants that they have. And really, it's up to you how you want to interpret that. But you see that the trees are coming together. All right, I'm just going to add in more. Okay. We definitely need to go a few rounds on this. I'm going to add in a bit more highlights here. Okay, I'm going to add maybe some bushes. Okay. So they are, I would say, the most difficult part for this painting, I would guess, is going to be this area where you have a lot of things happening. But in reality, it's actually not so difficult. You're still following the same back to front approach. Do background first, come to the foreground. I haven't really put in highlights yet, so I'm just lightening up the shades. I'm just making, see, like here you have, okay, under the dot here for the trees. But actually, this is a very fun thing to do. I'm enjoying this. Okay, under the blue. I'm going to add highlights to this foreground, please. It's roundish, yeah. This one here is a bit round. So I'm keeping the light. See. Okay. So you're going to add in a lot more highlights later on. But for now, let's get all the trees out of the environment. I'm just adding more here. Okay, I'm adding highlights to these three now. See what happens when I do that. But before I did this, yeah, I have to add one layer of maybe lighter green. So okay, here we go. But this is actually a fabulous piece of painting. Very, very enjoyable. I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Challenging, yes, but that's life. You do something challenging, then you find it more rewarding later on, yeah. But it's a bit tough to follow. See, okay, I'm just adding in now highlights. Look at your plants coming out. Later on, I'm gonna use a pink color, red color here. See, there you go. Now your plants are taking shape. Look, because I'm actually still working on the paint that's still like not fully dry. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add highlights. So even the windows itself, you can do a lot of detailing later on if you want, yeah. You can go in each individual window. You're going to add in. They have window frames, But those you have to take time and go in slowly. Use a very, very thin brush. So anyway, see your trees are coming up. And the rooftop, if you care to, you can also look at how you're going to do your tiles. But because this is quite a long shot, so it's not really necessary unless you're the type of loves to do it. You can. There's no stopping you. Yeah. So I'm actually just doing the trees. Look, all the trees are coming up. So the highlights are always on the top left. Watch, yeah, observe. You can do a lot of detail. It all depends on how much time you are willing to put in. So you got that. Let me add more highlights here. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to tell when my hands blocked. So I'm just doing it away so they can see this. Right, see? I'm going to add more highlights here. Oh, see, it's nice. Okay, now, of course, you still can do a lot more highlighting, but I'm just moving down a little bit in the short one. Okay. I'm going to add some bushes here. So you can see. Okay. So we have basically done most of it, yeah? The next thing is, okay, this is a fun part now. Okay. You'll notice that between the houses, the wall, okay, and the sea, we're gonna make the water come alive, yeah, a bit more by adding in reflections. That's the beauty about when you're doing water, yeah. Now this is a time when you can actually, maybe if you like, you can mix a bit of water, but not too much, yeah. I know we're doing water and we are mixing with water. All right, between this and this, we can enhance the water effect by just doing this. Yeah? You have trees here. So what we are trying to do, okay, this is a very simple way of doing reflection. I'm trying to just reflect the trees, yeah. Of course, there will be also reflections of the building, but let's put in some trees first. Okay, so basically it's like a mirror, but because of the water, your reflection is broken up into, I call this a shimmering effect. You can be, don't use black, I use maybe blue, something dark color. Okay, I'm going to just, so it actually can come down to quite far. So of course it doesn't have to be an exact reflection because this is water. So I'm going to just have a shimmering effect by, some people call this a zigzag, yeah. Let me add in some water so I can have a little bit more flow. Okay, I'm going to just, so I'm basically just doing a zigzag. Whatever dark color I have there, I'm going to just replicate it in the water so that it looks like a reflection. That's number one. And don't forget, yeah, at the moment we are only, I'm only talking about trees having reflection. The house also will have reflection. I'll get to that in a minute. So like I say, end of the day, you're going to find yourself spending a lot of time doing this, yeah? So these are all the fundamentals, the basics that you need to know when you're painting this. I'm just making this area a little bit darker. I'm using a bit of water. I'm treating a bit, but it's okay. See, I'm separating the shoreline. This could be a reflection of the wall, by the way, yeah, the dark color. The wall will also reflect. So you basically just a layer of dark. Okay, your wall, this wall will definitely reflect. Okay, there you go. So quite quickly, in 2 hours, I've done this. My God. Okay, now I'm going to add in a bit more color. So like I said, reflections are quite fun. But you have to remember, this is not a mirror lake. This is water with ripples. So this is what we are doing at the moment. So you can actually have little ripples coming out like that. I'm using very dry brush, by the way, so that you can have, see, the wind can blow, you get ripples here. I'm just using water, just adding water to the color. All right, see, and what I'm trying to do is to show that there's a reflection of the building as well. You can, this is the house. If you can, just keep it squarish. Okay, but when I say squarish, I don't mean draw a square. It's just that the position of the color has got to be roughly where you see the. Okay, I'm going to have a reflection of the wall. Okay, so this is a very good way of doing reflection. So as long as like it's directly below, it's like a mirror. So essentially what you're doing is using the horizon line as the place where your mirroring starts. This is called the mirroring effect. And for the purists, if you like, yeah, you can actually add in like even the highlights of the trees can be reflected. So it's just a matter of how much time you're going to put in. And there's another thing that we need to do. Wow, today we are having such a good time. We are going to run out of time soon, but never mind. Let's spend a little bit of time enjoying this. All right, now I'm going to show you the wall itself. What I need to do is I need to put in a highlight on top of the wall. Just give me a minute, yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, so we've actually come pretty far. What I'm going to do now, just a minute, I'm going to use this very, very thin brush, my Winsor and Newton series number 7. Okay, very thin brush just to give you some highlights. The highlights I'm talking about is highlights on top of the wall, so that at least you know where the wall is. What color shall it be? It should be just a light color, but I don't want to use white, so I just maybe a bit of a light gray because the area is quite dark. Okay, I'm just going to put highlights on this wall. Highlight. Okay, these are the horizontal marks here. This one separates the wall. There are trees. Okay, I'm just going to put highlight on top of the wall so that you have a sense of maybe where the horizontal lines are. Okay, these are highlights. And of course, when you do the boats and all that, you can actually add in highlights as well. But for now, I'm going to just add in some, you know, when the water hits the beach, you're going to get you're going to get this little wavelets. Yeah, it's nice. Eh? When you add this, it adds a lot more life to your scene. Look, watch highlights. See? You try and keep it horizontal because this is actually taken from quite far away. And of course, in the horizon, it's nice to have a little white highlight between the water and the land. And let me see what else I can do to make this even better. I'm going to have a white highlight on this wall, so that tells me there's a wall there. All right. Okay. We are not going to do the boats. Let's spend some time on building. Okay, see what I've done so far. Right. Earlier on, yeah, we were talking about having a separation between the roof and the wall, and some of those areas are not having that simply because we did not do it earlier. I'm going to do that now. Between the roof and the wall, I'm just going to add in a little darker area so that there's a separation. Same thing applies here. So if you actually study the reference, there's actually a lot more detail that you can add. But for now, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the overall. Okay, it's actually pretty fantastic. I'm just going to separate the wall from the, all right. And we have not addressed this issue about the window that was here. Okay. Like they always say, the devil is in the detail. And sometimes the detailing helps a lot, yeah. So I'm gonna add in trees, like even for areas like this, yeah, you can add in details, other details like oh, you're gonna have a tree that's red color or pink color, whatever. I mean, it's not only you don't only have green plants, you also have red plants, red flowers. Okay, you can make it a lot better by adding things like this. I mean, the boats and all that you can add in on your own later. But like I say, right now I'm more interested in the major areas, all right? So once you get the major areas, the minor ones will come along. You can put people in as you like. All right, there you go. I add in, like I can put in more flowers here. I mean, there are lots of gambulas in these kind of places. You can put a little shed here. Wait, can you imagine you have a chair here and you're actually having tea?
Time now is 4 p.m.
Oh, there goes our time. But never mind. I think I'm gonna spend a couple of minutes. Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, let's explore this a bit more. It's actually fun. I know most of you are like, oh my God, there's so much to do, but actually it's fun. Yeah. Don't run off yet. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else we can do. It's nice. That's why sometimes there are when you're in the middle of doing things like this, yeah, it's terrible to have a have 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 to run off halfway, especially when it's getting a lot more fun. I'm just adding a bit of black for detailing, you know. And I'm telling you all that simply because as an artist, I fully understand because my God, you start doing it and it's getting better. And even before you get to where you wanted to go, it's time to run. Okay, I just wanted to remind you again, yeah. For those of you who came in late, we have a couple of events coming up over the next few weekends. Sometimes it's going to be on Saturday. Sometimes it's going to be on Sunday. If you like, yeah, you can join them. It's sponsored by Gamuda Land. Yeah, they are also organizing painting. I'm going to be running painting classes on site. Yeah, this is on site. One of it is coming up soon. I think it's on Gamuda Garden. Gamuda Garden is somewhere in Shah Alam. I haven't fully got the address. I've been there, but I don't have the address at the moment. I will inform all of you. It could be on a Saturday or it could be on a Sunday, depending. Yeah. It is sponsored by Gamuda. But the only thing is you have to be you have to go to the site, and they practice social distancing. Don't worry. They have a big open space for you to paint. You can be very far away from other people, but basically I'm going to be running a workshop like this, but it's live. And I think they also provide food. I'm not quite sure at the moment, but basically in that kind of gathering, they provide a lot of entertainment. They have a lot of food. They have a lot of painting, a lot of art. You can bring your family there. It's a family day kind of thing. They also have exercise. Yeah. So I will share with you the timing. And if you like, please join them. It's fine. It's already paid for. Only thing is they will also take the time to, while you're painting, they will probably talk to you about the things that they are selling. Of course, if you like to buy a few houses, I think it's good. But at the same time, it's good to just go there, enjoy. And the idea is sometimes the places that they are holding all these art lessons, and they also have cooking lessons, by the way. Those places are actually, when you go there, you feel like you want to paint simply because the environment is so damn nice. I tell you, you sit there, you see hills, you see lakes, you're gonna see water, you're gonna see flowers, you're gonna see waterfalls, you see birds, you see trees. Is that kind of thing that we are trying to promote, and I'm helping them to get all of you to experience that sort of thing. You're not obliged to do anything other than go there and paint, but they do require your contact number, of course, because they are trying to help you make some money, right, by investing in their property. But it is actually quite nice. They are going to be holding it in 4 different locations. One is 25/7 in Kota Kemuning. The other one is High Park in Kelana Jaya. And third one is Gamuda Cove, which is in Cyber Jaya. For those of you, I don't know where you are based. It could be a place that you want to go to. Then the third one, Gamuda Cove, Gamuda Gardens is in Shah Alam. I will just share you the event details later once they approve it. Okay, but we are in for exciting times. Meantime, before that comes, you can spend time adding details to this one. In fact, this painting itself is going to take you a long time just to detail. You can add in all the boats later on if you like, but you see, what I do normally is, once I've done all this, the next step is just to paint in the location of your boats. I can just show you roughly what I do here. I do for one boat. You can add on more. So these are all very straight line, left to right, the shape of the boat. I think most of you should be able to do it. Okay, and there are a couple of boats here. You can actually have another one here. I'm doing it in dark color first, so that usually that's what I do. I do dark just to cover the space where the boats are. So it's not difficult, but like I say, it takes time. That's all. So these are the basic areas for the boat. Your hand is very steady. You can draw a very nice straight line. That will be the must. But you have to be putting highlights later and very thin brush. And some people actually use what they call a rolling pen to draw straight lines. But it's really up to you. Okay, let me see. There are some text on here. I can't see it. Okay, never mind. I'm going to read that later. But it's looking very good. I am enjoying this, and later on you can do. Of course, this will be your boat. On this side, it could be. I don't know what those are. It could be little boats that they park there. It can be like this. They are on the slopes. This can be boats, or they can be chairs. I mean, you can draw little people there, but I'm just putting black so that I can paint in the figures if I want. Like I say, later on I'll try and add in a couple a few hours of maybe a little bit more detailing, so that your whole picture comes alive. Then later on you add birds flying, yeah, and that's why I say drawings and paintings like this are amazing in the sense that you can actually make it as detailed as you want or as simple as you like. I mean, it's really up to you. You can add in more details here. I will be sharing this video probably tomorrow because it takes quite a while to edit. Yeah, I can add in more definition by see? And you notice I'm using very small brush right now, so that's when you can sit down patiently do all the detailing. Now I'm just adding in lines here so that you can add architecture. Of course, if you have an architectural background, then you can add more details to the building. But for the rest of you, you can actually just stay with this. I think you're fine. I think it's looking fabulous. Look. All right. My sound wave has already announced that because 4 o'clock, quite a while ago. But never mind. We will have a peep at what you guys are doing. I'm going to continue a little bit later. I'll record it. I'm going to share it online with you. All right. Okay. Now let's maybe can I see what you guys are doing? Lynette, you had a lot doing earlier on. Maybe you can show me what you've done. Wow, there you are. Okay. Okay, my only comment, yeah, Lynette,
Yes.
your foreground hill, yeah?
Yeah.
The hill next to the water is a little bit too dark, a bit too dark.
Okay.
It should be, because it's as dark as your wall, you know.
Oh, it should be lighter, grayish.
Should be, yeah, so that you can see that it's far away from the wall.
Okay.
At the moment, it looks the same color as your wall, so it looks a little bit almost like they are together. So the hill that's next to the water should be a little bit lighter.
Okay.
Okay, and your little girl, she's very kanchong want to show me. Oh, say, hey, she's competing with you lah. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Yeah. And the hills in the background need a little bit more, like I said, different layers. Yeah, need to be a bit lighter as you go further away.
Lighter.
Yeah, the hills.
Okay.
Yeah. Same problem like yours. Your hill has got to be lighter. Yeah. your background hues are okay, but the one next to the water is too dark.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lynette.
I think the boats will be hard to do if we are not finding.
The boats are not hard to do, but it's going to take a while, slow, be a bit slow, because don't forget, you're all doing this, yeah. I call it almost like speed painting right now. 2 hours to do this is no joke, you know. And also your one other thing, yeah, your vertical trees, yeah, the tall trees.
Yeah.
Can you make them as you come from top to bottom, yeah, make the bottom part a bit wider.
Oh, fatter. Okay.
Yeah, because your trees are all straight up, very thin, equally thin all the way up. So it is a conical shape. It's like this, yeah. So
okay.
make the base part a bit wider.
Okay.
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 All right. Thank you. Who next? I can see Patsy. Wow, Patsy is very kanchong already. Okay, Patsy, have a look. Okay, there you go. Okay. I can tell you one thing. Your wall, your wall is fine, but your slope of the sand is a little bit too sharp.
Okay.
Your slope going up, it should be a bit gentler. At the moment, it's like 45 degrees, yeah. So make it maybe about 15 degrees. So slowly it goes from left to right, because at the moment it's going very hard up. Okay, and also I think your heels next to the water. At the moment is,
Yeah,
I
right.
think yes you got it blue, but maybe you got to add a little bit of reddish to the blue, so that it's not too blue. At the moment it's a bit too blue. All right, and your horizon.
Actually, Stan, maybe it's the perspective, because actually it is not blue. It is grayish.
Yeah, you probably need a little bit more reddish gray. Yeah, a little bit more red. I think it's too blue at the moment. And your wall can go out a little bit more towards the right hand side.
Where? Here?
No, your
Here?
my right hand side. Towards your left, towards your left. So extend your wall a little bit to the
Extend here.
Yeah.
Like what you did, right?
Yeah, because yours is a little bit too close to the building.
All right.
Okay. And your horizon, yeah. The horizon where your water meets the land, keep it sharp. At the moment it's a bit blurred.
Okay.
Okay, and I think just a bit more detailing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So your slope, your hill, and your wall. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm going to look at Lawrence. Lawrence, okay. How are you doing, Lawrence? Today very challenging, but I think you all should be able to do it. Okay, you are getting it pretty good. Okay, the only comment, the hills in the background, there should be 3 layers of hill. Currently, what I see, your background hill is very dark. You know, the one furthest away, it should be lighter. All right. And also, what else? Lighter. Your slope of the sand is good. Okay. And there's also a little gap between the house. Maybe there should be a bit of hue there, but at the moment there's a blue sky there. But that's something that we can add in later, lah. All right. But I think your hues are definitely your hues in the background got a bit lighter. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lawrence. Okay. Let's see who is next. Yeah. I know today Angie still working on it. Lawrence, Nicole, are you gonna show me or are you gonna hide? Nicole.
I didn't manage to finish. So and
Okay.
also
Don't worry
a lot more to complete.
Never mind, you just let me have a peep lah.
Okay, can.
Okay. Don't worry lah. Just relax a bit, yeah.
Because my children is here, so I
I know lah. Okay. Wait. I spotlight you first. I cannot see. Okay, so you are working with handicapped today, your children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even my sea, they
Yeah.
overpainted my sea becomes.
Wow, I tell you what you should do. You should follow Lynette and give your kids. Ha ha ha. You should give your children a small canvas. You know,
Yeah.
either you give them small canvas or you give them a box, a cardboard. Let them paint on the cardboard. Then they won't kacau you. Ha ha. You see. So what you need? What you need? Yeah, Lynette. Your sky, between your sky and the hill, your hue is supposed to be from light color to dark color. Okay, and I'll upload the video tomorrow. Okay, and when you settle your kids down, you can look at the video and just paint again. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. Let me see who else. Angie, how you doing, Angie?
I show you mine.
Okay.
But I don't know where.
But you came in quite late, so wow,
Angie,
okay.
you're fast also.
Yeah, Angie is so fast.
She's very
I
fast.
know. Yeah. Okay. The only thing is what I can tell you, your wall, your wall should be actually, if you can, keep it left to right a bit more steady. At the moment it doesn't look like wall, it looks like rocks, yeah. But I mean, if you want to make it rocks, it's okay.
I think I need to put more white, isn't it?
And
Make it more gray, is it?
your walls color are not too bad. It's only that it looks like currently it's going up and down a bit too much. It looks like rocks. It looks like rocks. So if you want to make it look like wall, then you have to actually just go a bit more horizontal, left to right, a bit.
Left
not
to
too,
right.
At the moment, it's like up and down a bit too much.
Yes.
Okay, and also your beach, your beach at the moment it looks like two steps, one and then you go up again, second step. You can keep it one step so that it's a bit more. The slope is gentler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So but you came in very late, so it's okay lah. I share with you the video. You can continue later, yeah.
Okay, can.
Okay, next
But
one.
Kim still can finish until that.
Yeah, she's super one. Ivy.
Not happy with mine.
Wow. Hey, I tell you, Ivy. Most of us are never happy with our work, but I think in your case, you've actually done quite a lot, yeah, and it's looking pretty good. The only thing is, I think maybe you use a bit too much black, yeah.
Oh, I only use black for the.
Yeah, I know that little area that you apply, yeah. So if you want to use black, you got to use generally everywhere, but not too much. At the moment, it looks like. Because you only use it in that area, I can see, oh, that's the only area you use black. So if you want to use black, you just put it in the areas that are the darkest. Yeah, usually it's a shadow area. And okay, the other thing is you need to, your wall is not very clear though, your wall, yeah?
Yeah, I'm not happy with the wall.
Your wall, basically what you need to do is you extend a little bit towards the, after the house, you extend a little bit more to your right hand side. Currently your left,
Yeah.
You go a bit to the right, and then the other thing is you are planting your trees, you should be planting above, your tree should be planted above the wall.
It's on the other side of the wall, is it?
Yes, it's above the wall.
Oh,
it's
I
actually
thought it was on the beach. Oh dear.
It's not on the beach at the moment. You're planted on the beach. That's why you have a bit of confusion there.
So
And also your beach, your beach should be sloping from the water on the next to the wall, on the right hand side, you should be sloping up, yeah. At the moment, what you have is your trees are planted right on the water and on the beach. That's why a bit confusing.
Okay, I can change that, can I?
Yes, can you can.
So I paint over
So
it to make the
yeah.
wall.
Yeah, you can slope it up so that you can actually make it look a bit better. I will try and see if I can post maybe a picture comment later so that it's a bit clearer. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ivy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ivy. You did pretty good. Actually, don't be upset. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
of us are never happy with our work. I can tell you that artists are always like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you again. All right, next week or the week after that.